Lesting. So before us, we have people that are no rookie, they are no upstart, they are no newbies in the game of real estate and sales. I can't wait to even hear them devour all they have for us. So, men and noble lady, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So please, I'll just make it fast. We just go, tell us a bit about yourself and what you have for us. Then we take on a few questions.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I think it's afternoon already. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wigodo Chizi Esquire. I'm the founder, CEO of Living Architecture Limited. Living Architecture Limited is a construction and real estate firm in Lagos. We are new in the city of Port Harcourt. I'm a Rivers born and also a property lawyer. And so I thank the organizers of this great event for having me, most especially Pastor Uche and Keo Baba. Thank you so much, sir, for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Moi Alagwa. I'm a sales consultant with Bamboo Real Estate. You can refer to me as a sales enthusiast because I love to sell, but I'm in real estate and I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We can't wait to have you teach us a lot. Sir, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is God Gift Celestine Wogu. I am a real estate consultant. I've been doing real estate for about 5 years now, helping people acquire properties, without stress and without issues, because real estate is a very sensitive industry. So I appreciate the organizers of this event, and Pastor Uche, thank you for having us here.
Thank you so much, people. A round of applause for each and every one of them. And a special one to our convener, who we have the rare privilege to have with us during panel section. Thank you so much, sir. So we're talking about finding value in property, or let's say real estate, right? I'm sure many of us in our heads, we have different perspectives to the topic or the subject of real estate. So I'll take first like 2 to 3 contributions from the audience so that it gives us a platform for them to kickstart their conversation. Like 2-3 persons, your idea of real estate or property, if you've had an experience, how nice, how great, how terrible, just share 2 to 3 persons quickly. Then we'll take it on from there. Do we have anybody or do we go straight? People are thinking.
All right, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Anyways, I'm an affiliate marketer and also a sales enthusiast, just like yourself. I don't know entirely what real estate connotes, but I know that it has to do with properties, landed properties. It has to do with spinning properties. It equally has to do with marketing properties, anything that has to do with land, basically. Yes, so that's what real estate surrounds. But conceptually, maybe it's selling properties, basically. I don't know.
Okay, so if I get you well from your input, you would like to gain more insight on the subject of real estate. Do we get that, sir? All right, anyone again?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, convener of this program. Okay, so my little understanding about real estate is acquiring properties for investment purposes. Either you're using it for land banking, you're trying to save up money for the future, or holding on to funds that will, in due time, appreciate over a particular period of time, and it will help you to save things for the future. And let me just take a cue from properties my dad bought years ago. Okay, I remember when we bought a property in town, Borokri. It was about 2 plots, and my dad just bought one, and it was going for just 200K then. But we stayed there for over 21 years. As at 4 years ago, that property was valued for about 16 million for something that was bought for 200K. And at that time, they told him to buy the 2, but he said he had the funds, but he just left it. So, what am I trying to say? Real estate is an industry where you can leverage on, you keep your money there, and over time, it appreciates. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Last person.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Kelvin Nari. I'm an artist. I also run a quick service restaurant, Nana Sakara. We make the best akara in the entire universe. Okay, so I've always wanted to be a billionaire, and I stumbled across a research that was did, and it was noted that 40% of the new billionaires that emerged in China, I think that was in 2019, were into real estate, and it struck me that in addition to everything I'm doing, I need to be involved in real estate. So I'm glad you guys are here so I can get more insight on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Following certain popular demand, I was told to take one more person, so please.
Good morning.
Good morning. Speak up.
Good morning.
Just speak up.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good morning. So I will say, my name is Iki. Thank you. It consists of properties, lands, both commercial, residential, building, space, empty land, and sometimes also it also refers to if you're going further and deeper into the real estate, it also involves resources, natural resources under the properties, the lands, and all of those things. Thank you.
Great. I'm glad someone at least went away from just land, because when I hear real estate, I'm still worried why they put the real before estate. So does it mean there are other estates that are not real? So, gentlemen and lady, you already have an idea of where we are. So from your own professional experience, would like to speak to us. So in no particular order, please.
Okay. So I was excited when the last person who spoke talked about natural resources, because when you look at the definition of real estate, it refers to real property. Right? So anything on a piece of property that is real, right? So the natural resources, even the earth circumference is also real estate. So that's basically what it is, answering your question. I just wanted to jump at that because that excited me. A lot of people don't know what real estate is. People just think that it's just land or house. But even that's the reason why when Shell Petroleum comes to your property and they find a natural resource on your property, they pay you for it, right? When NEPA wants to pass a pole across your property, they also pay you for it. So all of that, both the depth of the earth and the surface of the earth, is also referred to as real estate.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for her, please. All right, so we proceed. Barrister Chizzy, you're a professional of very high repute. I would like you to speak to us more about real estate, especially considering being the CEO of LA Homes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Real estate, I'll tell us for free that Nigeria, now using Nigeria as a case study, the focus of where the money is has moved from the oil sector. You agree with me that before now, we used to have just Ministry of Petroleum, oil and gas, everything in one. But now they've broken down that ministry into there's petroleum, and they broke oil and gas out of it. Then there's one that they broke. So about 3 or 4 ministries have been broken out of that. So that's to show that the oil thing we've all been chasing, we've all been killing ourselves for, all the agitation has moved. And so those of us in Lagos, we laugh now because I remember a few years ago, trying to sell a property or trying to convince someone to buy a property was like, you would sweat, you would talk and talk. But now just being in your house, doing a post, people are already liking, people are already asking questions. You know, you get to see people commenting and all of that. And so it's just to say that the focus has moved to the real world now, which is real estate. And so that's where the blood money is now, in quotes. And so just like my friend here has said, the richest pastor rather in America, I stand to be corrected, why he's called the richest pastor is not because he preaches better than Bishop T.D. Jakes, it's because of what was found on his land. I think the American government wanted to open an airport or so, and he was driving past a property, and God spoke to him to buy that land. And he approached the community, they sold the land to him, he bought the land. A few years down the line, the American government wanted to use that land for an airport or so, and they found an oil in that property. And the amount of money that was paid to him till today, he's still counted as the richest pastor. Not because he has the highest number of members, but because of what was found on his land. And so real estate is not just you saying, I don't have money to build. You could have a land. And the thing about it, I'll use Lagos as a case study. We know where they call Ekpe. A few years ago, those of us, before we started flying, we used to go through Port Harcourt to Lagos. When you get to Ore, you know that you're perceiving Ekpe. When you pass Ekpe, you cannot even buy those things they sell on the road. You just want to get into the city. But today is a different story altogether. Let me come down to Port Harcourt, where we call the Greater Port Harcourt, the OPM side. You know, those days from Ada George through NTA, you're going down to those areas, those are forests. You would not even want to buy anything there. And so for some of our parents that, probably had eyes, but not eyes for real estate, they just wanted to have something that, let it be that they have a property in Port Harcourt, bought in those areas, or that area, so to say. Today, the value of what was sold or what one could buy then, you want to buy a property, even if it's half a plot, it's not what was sold, say, 7, 8 years down the line ago. So it shows that as God gives us life, as we improve, the value of the land increases. Then guess what? You now have a small building. A few days ago with my team, we were trying to price something around Casablanca, a 4 plots that has a building on it. And I was laughing because I know what a plot is in GRA. But because there's a building on it, they were telling me 600 million. I was laughing. Because I know what a plot is in GRA. So even if it's 4 plots, so let's say, for instance, a plot is 70 million in GRA. 70 times 4. Somebody help me with your maths.
280.
20 what?
280.
280 million. Now, because there's a property on it, I don't need a property, I need the land. They're telling me 600 million. So, all you need first is to get the land. Just wait. That's what I tell people. Ekpe, those days, we were telling them, I was in school when Ekpe started growing. So, say some 10, 15 years ago. And what we bought in Ekpe as students, we contributed, was not up to 500K. I don't lie. It was not up to 500K. But today, we didn't even know that the Lagos State government would one day want to do the airport there, would one day want to do the 4th mainland bridge across that way. But we just knew that one day development we get, because Lagos, everywhere is tight. So they would one day shift. That was our belief. But today, not just the airport thing, not just the 4th mainland bridge, there's also the Dangote refinery that has brought massive, growth to the area. And the Ekpe is selling. You have Port Harcourt. The OPM road, the new airport road is selling. Now we're going to Choba, after the Choba bridge, down to the Emoha. That's the new side. I'm giving you insights now. The RSU, there's a campus there that is up there. That's the new side. I was in Eche last month. That's the new site. So if you have small money, you have people that can come in together with you to partner, you can just say, okay, we're putting this money for the next 3 years. This morning I did a post on my socials. I said it's Friday. Most of you will be thinking of going to drink. Most of you will be thinking of going to Shayo. Why not just invest? It may be painful to keep the money, but guess what? You're not tying down your money and it's not being buried and gone forever. No, not be dead body. Now, is that one that will be buried? And after a while, when it germinates, when the trees and the fruit starts, you start bearing, you say you will not remember me that said it today. So my encouragement to us about real estate is, if you're looking for a fast cash, it is there. but it also needs patience. You need to be patient with the process. And so, in as much as we're calling big figures, it's not how it is in, when it comes to me being real with you. You have to be patient. But the good thing is that your being patient is not that one that would never come to manifestation. Give it a little while, it will yield good results. But Harcourt is the next phase. Lagos is doing so well, Abuja is so good, but Harcourt is the next phase. And so there are beautiful companies here trying to sell what they do, land banking, trying to sell what they do, building, So you can key into some of these things. You can also speak to people. And I think one of the person that spoke said he's a student. You can also be a student and be a marketer. You don't need to start going from one office to the other. Social media has made it so easy for people to be in the comfort of their home. One of my friends in Lagos, she's one of the fastest growing marketers. How does she sell her property? From Ikate, she just sits in the house, does all her stuff. She only goes out when it is time for, inspection. That's it. So she does not go out every day. So she does not even meet the Lagos traffic back to back. Only inspection day, she goes out, comes back, makes her money. Thank you so much. Let me allow some other person to speak.
Thank you so much, Barrister Chizzy. I know you have a lot to chunk us with. We'll take it gradually. Please, Mr. God's Gift. Shoot.
Okay, good afternoon once more, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Talking about real estate, let me come from the angle of the topic. Value in property. Now, when we talk about the word value, I just looked up my dictionary, and my dictionary says the quality that renders something desirable or valuable. Something that you find desirable. You'll agree with me today that one thing that is currently losing value in Nigeria today is our Naira. I don't know what the rate is this morning. If it has gotten to 1.5, maybe 2,000, I don't know. But every day, our Naira is losing value. And inflation is just off the roof. But there is one thing that I know that is always beating inflation, ahead of inflation. And do you know what it is? It is real estate. Real estate is always beating inflation. I was in Ada George 2 weeks ago. There's a property that the client of mine wants to buy. So normally I conduct due diligence for my clients, for those that don't know how to do it or they are very busy, because I have lawyers that I work with. So this property he wants to acquire, the owner is based in Italy, and she wants to put it off because since she traveled, the property has been there for some time. So I had to go get the documents of the property. The property was listed for 30 million naira. When I picked up the document of the property, I looked at it. Even me, myself, that I've been in the real estate industry, I was shocked at the price of that property. The owner bought it for 650,000 in Ada George in 2004. And today she wants to sell it for 30 million. You can see the difference. Now, if you keep money in your Nigerian bank accounts today as we speak, you'll agree with me that on a daily basis, that money you keep in your account is losing value. Some persons may not understand it, but your money is losing value every day. So I tell people, if you have spare cash, instead of keeping it in your bank account, especially if you cannot convert it to dollar or you don't know how to do crypto and all that, buy land and keep. That is the best way to preserve money or preserve wealth. Because keeping money in Nigerian bank account these days, it's crazy. Last week, a friend of mine that works in the bank, he came to me and was telling me that I should open an account for my son. I should be saving and all that. I told him, my brother, instead of me to open an account for my son and be putting money there that I know that it will keep losing value, I would rather be paying for land for him small. And I'm already doing that. Right. He's just a year old. By the time you get to 18, I know that the value of the land must have really appreciated. So I want to advise and encourage every one of us here today. If you have not started investing in real estate, please start doing it now. They said anytime somebody wakes, it's his morning. But I want to encourage you, let this event now be your own morning. And the good thing is that you don't even have to have millions to invest in real estate. There are companies that sell properties for as low as 1,700,000. Just buy them and keep. You see the example I gave to you. Just that for confidentiality, such things are not allowed to be exposed. Even I would have shown you the document. The land was bought for 650,000. Today it is selling for 30 million. And there are a lot of other examples like that. So real estate, just the way the name is real. And it is one of the realest things you can ever do. Some people say, if I have money, I want to go and do business. But you know the funny thing, Nigeria is a very funny place. You may want to do business, but one government policy, just one government policy, will scatter the whole thing. But if you buy land, especially when you've done due diligence and you're sure of the property you're buying, it is something that for years it is there. You're not giving it food, you're not giving it water, you're not clothing it, you're not doing anything at all on it. But the land keeps appreciating in value. And no matter how the dollar tumbles the naira, your land will always be ahead of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mon. Maybe some younger person may want to adopt you now as a father, since you have such plans. So, Moye, there's a very important part of this real estate conversation. It's okay if I get a piece of land to farm, right? It's for me. It's okay if I get a piece of land for whatever other reason, but we are very particular about how to make money. So you being a sales consultant relating to real estate, please can you share some insights on how to sell?
Okay, there's an aspect of real estate that a lot of people do not actually leverage on, and that's electronic real estate. Now, there's an association or a corporate body called REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust, right? This body helps you invest in real estate from wherever you are. So let's say, for example, you want to buy a property, but you don't have up to 500,000 naira. You have maybe 100K or 50,000 naira. You can actually buy stock from any REITs cooperative, and then you can, get dividends as the day goes by. So that's one of the ways you can make money off real estate. Another way you can make money off real estate is by selling real estate, right? So there are three basic ways. You can become an investor, you can become a seller, or you can become a developer, right? As an investor, you invest in shares, you invest in stock. As a seller, you become a realtor with any credible real estate firm. Now, there's a difference between an agent and a realtor. The only difference is information. What an agent sells on the streets is different from the way that a realtor will sell it, right? When I come to you and I talk to you about real estate, I'm talking to you from a place of information, from a place of knowledge. I know what is going to happen. I know the projections. I'll use a simple story. My father bought a property in Elekaya Housing Estate. I'm 30 years plus right now. When he bought that property, I was not even born, right? That property is currently selling for 40 million naira. Please, you permit me. I was talking to people at the back and I told them I'm very new to public speaking, so permit the shakiness. But what I'm trying to say is very simple, right? My father bought that property less than 2,500. He was a civil servant. He was doing something called the Housing Benefit Scheme, where he was paying monthly from his paycheck. And at the end of a certain number of years, that property was given to him. My dad is dead. He died in 2010. That property is in the name of his children. He has 4 kids, including me. And I have a property under his name that belongs to me, right? If I want to sell that property, I'll be selling it for at least 40 million naira, right? So that's one of the ways you can make money from real estate. I have a tenant in one of my properties, and I get paid monthly. Right? I don't do it the same way people do it, where they collect rent yearly. I collect my rent monthly, right? So this is another way you can make money from real estate. You can either invest, become a seller, or become a developer. How do you become a developer? You go to a family that has a large property. You get a plan for it. You can either get a town planner or an architect. They set up a plan for that property, and then you sell it in portions, right? Those are the ways that you can make money from real estate.
Thank you so much, Mwanye. And for someone who says she's new in public speaking, I would highly say you did very, very well. A round of applause for her, please. All right, so I have a few questions to my panelists, and I'll ask them directly in the brevity of time that we have. So the first one says, what are the key factors that determine the value of a real estate or property, right? And then, how do you know when a real estate or property is fairly priced in the current market, Barrister?
Okay, so one of the key factors, so for me, I will use Port Harcourt as a case study. You need to know the mind of the government. I would explain that I pray God helps me. So the mind of the government, for instance, before now there was only a Greater Port Harcourt. And so you need to be informed what is the government's plan when it comes to housing, building, and all. So because the government of the day may now say, okay, we want to for the city to be open. So we want to move to this area of the state or the city, and that's how Greater Port Harcourt started. They wanted to move everything from Port Harcourt's centralization into this other side of River State, the Obi-Akpo side and those other side. So you need to be informed on where the government is, wanting to bring in more, maybe industries or whatever it is. So that would help you know the area you want to buy. I earlier said you need to even buy as little as 200,000 land. But if you go to somewhere that may take 20 years, even though it's going to appreciate, if you're not patient enough, it will take a while for you to make good money. But I've given you an insight, the Emoha area where you have RSU, that's a good place, because even though the campus has not started, we started developing and building. The HA own, I heard it has started because I was there last month. And so these are areas that the government would now start, opening up. So that's an area you need to think about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Godgift, I have this question for you. It says, what should I consider when evaluating the condition and quality of the property?
Okay. What you should
Did
consider.
you understand? What should I consider when evaluating the condition and quality of a property?
Okay. I will answer that question in two ways. First, number one, in real estate, we have areas that we call developing areas or emerging markets, and we have developed areas. I will give you an example. Here in Port Harcourt, if you listen to adverts on radio or TV, you hear Ipo, Abara, Omagwa. Now, all these areas are developing areas. So one of the things you consider before you buy properties in these areas, number one, what is the landmark around this property I'm buying? When I talk about landmark, is there something like a university? Is there something like an airport? Thank you. Is there something like a company, they are trying to site in that area? These are things that will give your property real value and make it appreciate faster by the time you get that property. That is for developing areas. Then number two, just like the barrister said, you look at the mind of the government. In this case now, most companies that I partner with, I make sure that there are companies that have done charting already. For example, the Port Harcourt Ring Road project is going on. That ring road is going to cut across many places. You can see that demolition house is already in Port Harcourt. And in part of these places where they did not chart these things, because when you go to chart your property, they will tell you that this place is a government area. Either a road will pass here or something. And even when you go to request for survey plan for that place, they won't give it to you because that place is a government area. So another thing you consider is make sure that any property you're buying has been charted. If you cannot do it, you pay a lawyer or somebody in the Ministry of Land and Housing to do it for you so that in future you not run into trouble because you bought a government's own area. Now, in developed areas like GRA, Ada George, all these areas that are developed, some of the things you consider are, one, the property I'm buying, what do I want to use it for? For example, if I want to site a filling station, for instance, there are places that are not very good for filling station because here in Nigeria, we have a crazy system of government. You can go and do it, do backyard runs and get the license and all that. But one day, government can just come and tell you that we are sealing off this place because the place you cited this filling station is not supposed to be here. So when buying properties, these are the things you consider for developing and developed areas.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for him, please. Just in 20 seconds, help us understand charting. I'm sure many persons just nodded their head when you mentioned charting. So in like 20 seconds, just help us understand what charting means.
Okay, in simple terms, charting simply means before you buy a property, if you're buying as an individual, for example, you go to the Ministry of Land and Housing to make sure that the property you want to acquire does not fall. Okay, let me say this first. By law, the government own every property by law. And for this property that the government owns, you can get something like what we call a C of O or a deed of conveyance. If you're getting a C of O, it means that you own that property for 99 years. After 99 years, you have to go and renew that C of O. If you're not alive by then, maybe your children or your grandchildren will be the ones to do it. But if the property have been sold to some other persons, they will be the ones to do that. Now, before this property is bought, you have to go to the Ministry of Land and Housing to ensure that this property I'm buying, in future, nothing like government road or nothing like government facility will come to this area. That is what charting is. Like this ring road they are doing now, it has been there for long. This ring road project, it has been there for long, but a lot of persons did not know. Even some that knew, they just say, now governments now, they don't go do them. But today, a lot of persons are suffering it. Even some of the people that bought properties in those places, we say they are developing area like Alo and some other places. The ring road is going to cut across that place. So charting simply means going to find out if the property I'm buying is in the government's own area to avoid the government coming to take over your property in future.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope that is clear to us all. Please clap for him. All right. So our sales consultant, Ms. Moy, there's a question for you here, and this has to do with sales and making money. It says, what are the current market trends and conditions that may impact a property's value?
So you have been throwing questions about making money to me.
Yeah, into sales, basically.
We're all into sales, right? So he sells real estate, I sell real estate, he also sells real estate.
Your profile precedes you, ma'am.
Okay, so I would ask the question again one more time. I would like to hear the question again.
Okay, so the question says, what are the current market trends and conditions that may impact a property's value?
Oh, okay. So before I go forward, I would like to draw our attention to Abuja, right? Abuja is a properly planned city. Now, if you're going to buy any property in Abuja, it mostly comes with a C of O or an R of O, right? Now, the reason is very simple. The government already has a plan for the city. Now, that's different from Port Harcourt, right? And that's different from Lagos, right? So if you're buying a property in Port Harcourt, you have to be careful. I'm placing emphasis on what he was talking about, charting. So in Port Harcourt City, if you want to buy a property, you have to go to the government to find out what their plan is for that particular environment. I'll give an instance. Insonwike newly constructed a bridge, and there was a property along the plan. And this particular man, they went to him and said he should, vacate the property. They will need to run a flyover on that property. The guy stood his ground. Why? Because he had a C of O. C of O simply means that you have given me authorization to own this property and use it for whatever it is I want. You as government has said that you will not have need for this property. So I can stand and tell you that you told me you won't have need for this property, so why are you asking me to vacate? Wike could not fight him because he also knows the law, right? But there's a clause in the C of O, right? If that property is for the general good of the community, if the project that is going to pass through that property is for the general good of the community, then it can be, taken back by the government. And that's how that man lost his property, right? So placing emphasis on charting, that's basically what it means. I'm going to talk about Bamboo Real Estate for a little bit. All the properties that we sell at Bamboo Real Estate are properly charted. We have properties within the Greater Port Harcourt region, but those properties do not fall under the plans for the government or whatever it is like that. We've made sure that there's no encumbrance around that property. So what are the things that you need to look out for? What are the trends that can affect buying a property, right, in the present time? It's very simple. Now, in property, when you're buying a property, there's a peak period and there's a slope period. Now, I'll use Diop, for example. Now, so many years ago, before I was born, Diop was the major Port Harcourt. That was Port Harcourt main town, right? GRA was not there. Audley Road was not there. Elele1 was not there. It was town, Diop, right? But right now, when you go to buy a property in Diop, even if they dash it to you, you'll not be excited to take it as much as when they dash you a property in GRA. So one thing that people always say in real estate is that you should find out where people are going and go there before them. right? So you find that, like right now, people are buying properties in Abara, people are buying properties at Igruta, people are buying properties at Eneka, right? Once you see people moving there, real estate companies are not stupid. They are the biggest money machine. So if you see a real estate company buying a property in a particular location, you should know that in a projection of 5 or 10 years, something big is going to happen in that place. So you follow that trend and you go to those locations and you buy properties from those locations, right? You also have to watch the move of the government. A new government, well, in Nigeria, the government is not stable. One government will come in with a new project and the next government will come in with something different, right? But the truth is that if you watch the move of the government, you will see where their next project is going to, right? So these are some of the things you can use to watch and decide where you should buy a property. Once you watch and you see that the government is moving things to this location, you buy a property there and then you keep it and it grows over time. Thank you.
You see what I'm trying
Sorry,
All
sir.
right, thank
Sorry,
you.
sir. Excuse me. Just for clarity, so that people don't think that because she had said something about someone that lost a land to the government, not minding that the person had a CFO. If you have a CFO, as a lawyer, I was just thinking about her statement, so people don't go with the notion that even with your CFO, you would lose a property to the government. So if the government has an overriding interest, she explained that if it has a public
General
interest,
good of the-
general good of that distance. So what the government does is there's something called compensation. So they don't just take your property from you. If you have a good title, either a deed of assignment that is registered or a CFO, they give you a compensation on that property before they take it. So they just don't take it and leave you like that. You'll be well compensated on that property.
But to be fair, most of the compensations that are given for those properties are not worth the value of the property.
So what you call value on a property is so it's not generic, it's not generic. So what I call a value may be different from what this organ will call a value. So you cannot now say the government must put your value on what they think is their value on that property. But the point I was making is that there is compensation if you have valid title to a property. That's the point I was trying to make.
I'm sorry. So I'm thinking about this from the
30
position
seconds.
of
30 seconds. Don't worry, my next question takes care of this, so maybe we hear it first. So I'll throw this while we await our keynote speaker. Question says, what are the potential risks and challenges associating with investing in particular properties? So I can already hear government policies, I can hear a bit of chatting. So you'll take that so that if you want to have that bit of banter, we would go. So, Barrister, please.
Okay,
Potential risk and challenges associated with investing in particular properties.
Okay, so potential risk. I would encourage everyone to go on my YouTube and look out my video, Living Architecture Limited, on YouTube. You'll see I spoke on some of these things. One of the things that you do to yourself if you're purchasing a property, either a building or a land, is if you think you can do due diligence yourself, go get a lawyer. I tell people, if anyone gets sick, they go to either a pharmacy or a hospital. But someone wants to rent a house or buy a property, they think they can just do it themselves. As I be argue, so I be lawyer, I can read. No, you cannot read everything. So go get a lawyer to do what they call due diligence on that property. So if you don't do due diligence on that property, I tell you, whatever impact that will come after math, you would suffer for it. So due diligence is what I tell everybody. I preach it, due diligence on a property. So I'm selling a property now at Eliozo, just after NAF Harmony Estate. I'm glad that he mentioned something called charts. Another way to say a chart is, so that you remember, it's called a map. So the government puts a map, what will do 10 years, what will do 5 years, what will do 20 years on this area of the state or the city. And so if you go to my property, we did due diligence on that property. And so even if 50 years to come, God gives us life, the government one day will say they want to do flyover there, everybody that has bought from me will be duly compensated because we have valid title on the property. So go do due diligence on the property so you don't have issues tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Monye, you want to speak to that?
Yes, she wants to tell me something.
So I in my line of work, I deal with a lot of lawyers, and they will tell you a lot of things, right? And I'm not here to argue or to say anything about your profession or anything like that. But I would like to say there is no document that is more powerful than the other. There are so many different special titles. There's an accession, there's a CFO, there's file number. There are so many different documents that you can use. But the truth of the matter is, every single land belongs to the government. Right? Now, that shouldn't scare you from buying a property. That's what I was trying to say. That shouldn't scare you from buying a property. Some people buy properties that have just deed of conveyance or deed of assignment as the title. And they're saying, oh, because it doesn't have a CFO, this property is not as strong. It is. You know the reason why? For you to have a CFO, you need to have at least a deed of conveyance first. Right? So every single document is important. I will still have the banter about whether or not the compensation is reasonable. Is usually not, because if I buy a property at 950K and I have an estimation that I want to keep this property for 20 years, and in 20 years maybe it will be like 100 million naira, and you take the property from me in 5 years and you now give me the value of it at that time, it's a loss to me, right? So that's where my argument is coming from. I just wanted to point that out.
I'm trying so hard not to be gender biased, but I know it's difficult to win argument with a particular gender. Anyway, Mr. God's Gift, I have a 2-in-1 question. The first part is directed at you. The second goes to the entire panelist. The first part of the question says, how can I identify undervalued properties or opportunity that will give me value add, that provides opportunity for value added investment? How can I identify undervalued properties?
Okay. First of all, in real estate, let me make this clear. No property is bad, or it is not wrong to buy property at all. But then sometimes properties can be undervalued. For example, which scenario do I use now to communicate this? Okay, for example, currently some places in the greater Port Harcourt, for example, Ipo, Abara, Omagwa, and all that, currently properties are selling there. And a client reached out to me, was it 2 weeks ago, that she needed a property in Omagwa and that her budget is 900,000. I told her, madam, currently now, you will not find a genuine property in Omagwa for 900,000, because she used to have the impression that, it was those years like 2018, 2019, where you see property in Omagwa for 750,000. If you want to get property in Omagwa now, from 2 million and above, genuine property. If you see anything less than that, you should ask questions very well. So, when a property is said to be undervalued is when the price of the property. For example, you have a property, you want to sell it, and the price the person is offering to you, if you look at the surrounding properties around there, and you ask questions around, and they tell you the current value of the property, it is not matching what the offer is. It means that your property is undervalued. That is in the case of you wanting to sell your property. Mostly that is where these things comes in. So before you sell your property or engage in any transaction whatsoever, you should try to find out or have an idea, okay, what is the current value of property in this area or in this neighborhood? For example, here in GRA, it is difficult to get a property for 20 million. You can't even find it anywhere in GRA. Before you see property in GRA, you should be talking of 50, 60, 70 million, depending on the location and the side of GRA. So anybody that owns a property in GRA now, maybe a father bought properties and the man passed on, and the children want to sell it, they now come and sell it for 20 million. They've undervalued that property. In fact, they don't rubbish the property. So that is how, you ask questions around, and also look at the landmarks. What are the landmarks and what do you have within the vicinity?
All right. Thank you so much.
The second one?
Yes, the second one is open, and that should be our last question because I understand our keynote speaker is ready for us.
Okay, sorry, please. Before I forget, I do a lot of writing and educating about real estate. So you can get your phone out. Follow me on Facebook, God Gift Celestine Wogu. I do a lot of writing. Even this morning, I made some posts. I love sharing about real estate and educating people because it's a high-ticket product. Before you bring out your 500K, 1 million to buy land, you should know a lot about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure they are also prepared to meet you after this session. So the in many person's mind, myself inclusive, up until maybe a few years ago, I have this bias with real estate. I can make quick money. When I'm buying real estate or properties with the future in mind, but there are things, I can sell my phone today and get money to solve an urgent problem, but I may not be able to sell land. So the golden question is, at the moment in Nigeria, buying real estate or buying dollars, which would you do? Thank you.
So let me jump at this.
So it's for all, and that should be our last question before I invite.
I was enjoying this. Okay, so let me jump at this. I spoke about something before now, but I didn't emphasize on it. Now, the reason why you should invest in a real estate investment trust is because it's more liquid, right? So you can actually invest in real estate as opposed to dollar. The way you can invest in real estate is by buying stock in real estate. You can get your money back in a matter of months, weeks, days. Your money will still be there. Now, if you buy from a foreign or a multinational, right, you'll be getting paid in dollars, right, which is the value of the dollar you're still seeing. So if the value of that property is $500, for example, you bought it for $500, the dividend on top of that is $10. You'll be getting an extra in a matter of months and weeks. And even if the dollar goes up to 1 million naira, you will still get paid in dollar. So whichever way you look at it, the one that we know here in Port Harcourt in Nigeria is the real estate that you can see, feel, and touch, right? But there's also e-real estate where you can invest, which a lot of people do not engage in. Now, there's I want to call the app, but I don't know if I'm allowed to call the app on live, right? Now, there is PiggyVest. PiggyVest actually does that. Yes, you can buy shares as low as 5,000 naira. These people should pay me for sponsorship. The last one is Property Pro. You can also buy shares on Property Pro, right? This is still real estate. What it simply means is that 5 people come together and buy commercial properties and they split the cost, right? So they are renting it out and they are using your money to manage those properties, and they are giving you returns on those properties. You don't have to manage a property. You don't have to do anything. You just have to sit and collect returns. A lot of Nigerian companies are not credible enough to run it, so we don't have a lot of people running it. But this is the way you can earn and you can beat the dollar, right? So my answer to that is very simple. Real estate any day, anytime, anywhere. The reason is very simple. Because dollar, they go up. Dollar go still come down one day. I believe in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Barrister, please, and take your time.
Okay, so for me, the answer is real estate, because not minding that a dollar is about 1,400 or so, I stand to be corrected, where we are hoping and trusting that it's going to get better. So if it gets better, it means that it will drop a bit, you know. But the thing about land or building, that's the only thing that does not depreciate. It keeps appreciating. So your land or your building or whatever natural resources you have on that land would not depreciate. It will only keep appreciating. So for real estate, the only English we know is that it appreciates. But when it comes to currency, it fluctuates. Today is down, tomorrow is up. So that's why I would always encourage someone to go for real estate that only appreciates, other than the currency that could depreciate or appreciate. Thank you.
Okay, on this issue, for me too, it is real estate. I like giving practical examples. Someone came to visit us at the house one of the days, and he gifted my son $100 notes. So that $100 notes, somehow, I just gave it to my wife. See, baby, just keep this money. Now, as this dollar thing is happening, when dollar got to 900, my wife came and met me. This boy is this thing. Won't you go and change it and put it in his account? Because he already has his own bank account. I said, don't worry, just leave it there. Why am I saying this? Money is currency. And it is called currency because it flows. Each time you have money, something will keep coming to your mind. You need to buy the latest iPhone, or you need to buy this, you need to buy that. But if you use that money and put in real estate, because you've put it in real estate, it is there. You'll not be tempted to go and carry down your land to go and buy something. So for me, it is always real estate because each time remember I have dollar, you can easily want to go and change it to buy one thing that's because once money is in your hand, something will always come up. That is the truth. So you'll be tempted to go and look for something to buy, or one family problem that you don't know how it came from will just come that will push you to go and change that your dollar. So for me, it is real estate because if you buy land and keep, it will be difficult before you can start going to move that line, especially when you have knowledge. So that's my advice. It is always real estate.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Barrister Chizzy, Monye, and God Gives. Thank you. Please appreciate them. Please appreciate them as they make their ways back to the seats while I invite K.O. Baba to bring on our keynote speaker.
Okay, one more thing, please, while we try to get ready for our keynote speaker. I know that the panelists were talking about buyback, and I know that Capital City, Priscilla, come please, let's do this. I think Capital City have this buyback policy that I would like her to talk about. They are one of our exhibitors, and it's a perfect time to say this. Okay. I wanted
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the last question was how do you convert your land, your investment to cash? We know it's hard. Most times when you buy land and you're ready to sell, you go about looking for who to buy from you. But we have a solution to that right now. We have two plans. One is called buyback, one is called co-fund. So you are allowed to buy land from any of our estates nationwide. We have over 40 in Nigeria. Then we have two different plans, 6 months and 12 months. If you choose the 6 months plan, in 6 months you're getting 15% profit extra on top of your capital. So when you buy, we'll give you a contract of purchase, which is a legal document, binding you and the company, showing all the terms and conditions, then where the land is and all that. Then we'll give you a post-dated check. So in a way, your money is still in your hands. At the expiration of the transaction, you just go to the bank and cash your money, then return our document to us. That's how it works. So this one, you get your profit in 6 months, 15%, 12 months is 30%. But if you want it monthly, you can also get it. Say you have aged parents that you send money to monthly. So instead of worrying yourself about sending them monthly, you just put in this money like you bought land, and then at the end of the month, you give us the account number. We'll be sending that profit of yours to that particular account number monthly. That will save you from a lot of stress and headache. So we do that right now. If you want that, just meet me after now. Let's get started. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I understand there are several persons here who had questions from the last session. I mean, we are pressed by time, but I'm sure you can meet any of the panelists after now for specific questions.
You know, there's something beautiful about real estate. I know most of you are interested in it, Abi. Yes, if we have our way, we'll do more about real estate today, and the morning section, the section that will happen later in the day. Please, while my panelists were up, one of our keynote speakers on Wednesday, Chief Emeka Ekeze, Ezekwe came in. Please put your hands together. Thank you for always stopping by to support us. Thank you for always stopping by. Yeah. Today you came as a Nigerian. The other day you were British. Thank God we are ending tomorrow. If we stay till next week now, you're going to appear like Scottish. Yes. So how many of you are getting value for your time? How many of you like making Nigeria? And you want to see it happen next year, Abi? Please, can we celebrate this great vision? Pastor Uche Anuche, God bless you. And you agree that some of the ideas that you've been getting from this place normally is what you have paid for before, Abi? And that's the beauty of it. And I also want to encourage you. We've been doing this, and a couple of persons have proven over time that I know to get, but anyhow, I like what is happening. If they've displayed the account for me, if you've been attending this event back to back, and they've been showing this account, and you've been acting as if they are showing you snake, you are wicked. Honestly speaking, you are wicked. I think that everybody who likes what is happening here should prove love. There's no love without giving. John 3 verse Bible. you know, be like say God will come call me. But I know that John 3 verse 6 say, for God so loved the world that he gave. The proof that God loved the world was the giving. He gave. Not just did he give, his only begotten, only. Not was it just only, son. You know what it means, son? So if you love what Pastor Uche is doing here, you love what Making Nigeria project, Making Nigeria is all about, I want you to do something. Please, on your phone, do anything you can do, transfer to support what is happening here. It's funny if I say all the time I've been making this announcement, they never transfer with even reach 200,000. That's how sad it is, and it's not a reality we should encourage. Be that generous that when you see good thing, you stretch to make sure you're a part of it. Come, Auntie, this one you are going. Are you feeling bad? You say? Yeah, you fear transfer. That was what a man can do, a woman can do it. What a man can no before we are transfer do. Now man get transfer. woman like credit a lot, debit a lot. My wife managed pay NEPA bill. Could just call her, I get that. What's happened now? Have you not? No, nothing happened. But I just pay bill. Now it affects me. So we understand. So please feel free to support this. Now, also today, I wanted to support this woman from PAP. Please. So when you go down after we finish this section, some of you buy something for your neighbors, buy for yourself. Bachelors, buy crayfish, buy palm oil, buy plantain. I called my wife yesterday to come and buy us. As we greet Pastor come back, they don't close. But we'll buy today, please, because they came from Bayelsa. That Bible, is it, and what again? Yellow soup. Draw. When I do soon say shawarma, the owner I don't like Ibo Bayelsa. When I own Bayelsa, they close to Ibo. Yes, it is. But Mama, I like the fact that you people love business. Paint. People say paint. The way you are going, you will soon sell coffin. Not to that they sell. No, yes. How many of you are there? How many of you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lead went down. People let them go down. Yeah. How many of you are there? 5. Okay, 7 of you. Now me, I'll pay for your food. How much is your food? How much? Your lunch, I'll pay for your lunch. How much? How much? How much for 1 minute? No, can you eat 1,000? Say 2,000. Which kind of? But I got girls, see, you people should learn from these women. I'll pay for your lunch and I will say 9,000 minus drink. Then you tell what I'll make it to 2,000. As maybe I finish, I'll come and transfer it. 7 of you, I'll transfer the money. So that you eat well, drink Zobo, join. Are you ready for our keynote speaker? Today our keynote is by our convener. And he's one of the most renowned. Of course, he has been one of our biggest thought leader in the city. He has done this for 13 years, that should tell you. And this is one man I don't describe as somebody that is humble. When I talk about him, I say, I do conference, and I don't share belief alone. I have people in my church who agrees with me. We call him meek. He's very meek, and that's why you see I can shut down everything for 1 week, and I'm doing Making Nigeria. If Making Nigeria is a church by now, and I may be assistant pastor. How many of you notice that? Yeah, so that's why Jonathan left his work. Umo is here. Muiwa say, I want to support Pastor Uche. And Pastor, you notice that we don't do this House on the Rock thing. They didn't even announce that for our church. We don't do it, but we know that he has this large heart to see the next generation grow. And today he's talking to us on how to build a strong personal brand. How many of you would like to hear that? Please, with a standing ovation, our convener, the CEO, Marketplace, Apostle, please put your hands together for Uche Anoche, Pastor.
All right. No, they will be changing it for me. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are being blessed and learning a lot. Okay. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday I talked about developing a strong personal brand. Can somebody remember that? Yeah. I talked about developing a strong personal brand. You see, this is the icing on the cake. This is what can, this is what can spoil everything that you want to do. Like we say in Niger Delta, this is the winch that can scatter everything that you're doing. Because you don't know the vibes that you're emitting. How many people believe they are nice people here? Raise your hand. Huh? So we will prove it today. You say you are nice. After this presentation, we'll know how nice you are. Because we just walk around. We don't watch what we say. We don't watch what we do. And we think that by miracle, something is just going to change. If I tell you for the past 25 years, I've never said you are an idiot, you are stupid, you are this. 25 years. To anybody, not even my driver, not even my gatesman, not even the lowest of the low. It was deliberate for me to purge that out of my system. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. There is no, you see this body, the mind, the spirit, you can twist it to any length that you want. Let me give you a story. When I was in, I think precisely from 2, well, we didn't do JSS. I don't even understand JSS. We did from 1 to 5. So I told some of my friends in secondary school, and I said to them that God has called me to leadership, that I see myself I see myself speaking to a large crowd, white people, black people. You say, these my friends, all of them started laughing. Even the ones that were passing by started laughing. One laughed so hard that he fell from double bunk. Say, no be your type. Yeah, because I was born introverted. And my upbringing is, I don't know my neighbors. They don't know us. If I have to go out, I have to be carried from where I am to where I'm going. If I have to have friends, my parents have to authorize it. So that social skill, I didn't have it. I had to start learning it. So you can be an introvert. The introvert in Bundu is different from an introvert in GRA. You understand? Because some of those skills that make you survive with, I have to learn it, because we actually had an Egyptian neighbor, but it was like 15 years when they were moving out that we even knew they were Egyptians. So when you come from that angle, it's a limiting factor, it's a limitation for you. So you need to change. I had to change. I couldn't speak. So all these things, the thing with introverted people is that you are talking inside, you are not talking out. But you are talking. Either way you are talking. But you need to change yourself. And I realize that, that now I have to deal with crowd. Now I have to sell. It cost me a lot to move from supervisor to a manager. He held me down for about 5 to 6 years. You know why? Because they say it's not a manager material. So who is a manager material in the corporate world? It is someone that is able to make presentations. Even in the office, if you want to make presentation to me, it has to be PowerPoint. It has to be something that we are seeing. So now, how do you stand? How do you stand and make presentation? What kind of brand? Because the brand that was emitting was the brand that they said is not the manager material. By the grace of God, I'm a pastor today. But see now, I want to tell you because you can change who you are and you'll change your life. You can. It's very, very possible. Say, and I saw them bomb me. It's a lie. I'm a living testimony that you can change whoever you are. The mold in which I was born, I had to reject it. If not, I'm not able to do what I am doing here today. So everything, you need to change your brand. Let me give you a very funny story. Now we get to the point where in church, I was in a department. It was called protocol. And in that department, in church, I was a prayer warrior in my room. When I pray in my room, in fact, when I left Lagos to come to Port Harcourt, the person that stayed in that room was telling my sister, who used to stay in this place? He said that when he comes in here, there's peace because there's prayer that has been offered there. But this is the prayer warrior. Then they now told me to just say opening prayer in front of, we have a conference like this, protocol department, just like we're in the foyer here. They just say, okay, just say prayer so we can go to work. The man of God couldn't talk. All the prayer was firing, everything left my head. It's just like a speaker where you've written things, when you come here, everywhere is black, white. And they tell you it happens that you will see the kind of people in the crowd, you look at your paper is white. You can't see, fear. So they now said I should pray. I couldn't pray. Prayer warrior. And that my department had very fine girls. So that even confused me the more. So I became a pastor. The pastor was here, Pastor. I think she was pastor in charge of admin. And I told her, I want to pray. I want to learn how to pray. Not learn how to pray. I want to pray. I could pray very well. I want to pray. When I told her, please be putting me in that part that I will pray, she first of all looked at me. She didn't want to embarrass me. But today, there is nobody I have not prayed. By the grace of God, I prayed to 2 presidents, 2 African presidents. Yeah, if I no clap, I won't continue. But they said, no be my type. They said, no be my type. No be my type. What do you want? The totality of who you are helps you to where you are going. So you be careful how you say the things that you say. Have you watched Obama talk? He talk. What do you think he's doing? He's editing every word that needs to come out. Because you are a president, everything you say, they will change it to music. They will turn it to music. Or they are using you in Twitter. So what you say must really be what you mean. It's very important. And as a business person, all of you say you are nice people. So how do we determine that? It's a long presentation, but I try as much as possible to see how I can bring it down so that during question and answer. Yeah, let's go to the next slide, please. Let me use this. Yeah, personal branding. The idea of personal branding originated from what? Becoming more of who you are. All you people that are snapping, I come and give you bill. You come from a free program, you see me snapping. The bill is 350,000 when I do this training. I bet ushers Markham. The idea of personal branding originates from what? Becoming more of who you are. Do you ever get the feeling that people just don't get you? People just don't understand you. You are talking, you are explaining, but people don't get who you are. It's not their fault. It is what they see and it is what they experience. Even the Bible says that, for as a man thinketh, so is he. From the abundance of his heart, so he speaketh. So whatever is in your heart, have you, especially this happens to ladies, you are talking to their head, so let us go. She will just tell you something that has been in her mind. This is from the abundance of the heart. And those things, if you don't check it, you must be the gatekeeper in your mind. You must check everything that comes out of you, because once it comes out, it's no longer your own. Once it comes out, you have given it to the world. Good or bad, we mark you with that. Next slide, please. So it is very, very important, because now we have personal brand identity crisis. Because people don't understand where they are, what they are emitting out, or what the vibes that they are giving out. Let's go. So what do I mean by this personal brand crisis? You feel a disconnect between your personal life and your professional life. The demand on your job, your career, your businesses are in conflict with who you really are. There seems to be a gap between perception and reality. A gap between the real you and who others feel, who others see and interact with. So you are not getting the right kind of friends. Is someone here, if you don't have the right kind of friends, do you have anybody that you feel that you should have better friends? True or false? Yeah. Then you have to be careful. For me to be able to bring a high chief, one of the illustrious sons of Anambra, you know these Anambra people, how do you people make money? Mecca, tell me. These Anambra people, how do you people make this money? I'm your friend, help me. How do you feel? You feel that at work, in home, in the community, in life in general, you are not getting as much credit. You're not getting that credit. It seems as though you've been compelled to be less of who you are. Next slide. Next, less of who you are. There's a frustration, there's a contention within you. Let's look at the business brand concept, because the concept of personal branding was derived from the concept of business branding concept. Brand is what? Basically, brand is how businesses tell customers what to expect. All the grammar of what brand is to tell businesses, to tell customers, this is what you advertise, this is what you will get from us. You come to Make in Nigeria, we went to radio, we told them what? We told them 4 things that you're going to get here. You're going to learn, you're going to sell, you're going to network, and you're going to be entertained. Those 4 things. So that is business branding. Next slide, please. So, personal brand concept. Successful people can do what successful businesses do. This is what gave birth to personal brand concept. Successful people can do what successful businesses do as well. Go on. So now, let us look at business branding and personal branding so we can have an idea. A business brand is a brand. When we talk about brand in business, a brand is a perception, because this is where it begins to get tricky. So I need you to just stay with me. A brand is a perception or emotion maintained by a buyer or a prospective buyer, describing the experience related to doing business with an organization while consuming your product or service. What do we say? You drink Coca-Cola, you have a feeling. There's a feeling. You relate with a company, you buy their product, what is that experience that they get from what you are doing? That will determine the quality and how strong the brand is, right? So look at personal brand. Your brand is a perception or emotion maintained by somebody other than you that describes the total experience of having a relationship with you. You see why the personal brand is more difficult than even the business brand. You know why? Because that brand, you have no control of that brand, is in the mind of someone. So now, you want to sell, you are selling material, you are in your shop, you are in your booth downstairs, and someone comes because they are nasty. Once you open shop, you are opening shop to good customers, bad customers, nasty customers. If you cannot tolerate nasty customers, close that business down. If you cannot deal with the public, you are not ready to be a business person. And I told you here, is it yesterday or day before, I said, look, you see money and anger don't go together. Money and impatience don't go together. If you're an impatient person, you will lose customers. If you are in business and you are impatient, it's just by the grace of God that business has not folded. If you are always angry and you are in business, it's just by the grace of God that business has not folded. Maybe your wife, your spouse, or your children, for the sake of them, God is continuing to bless you. If not, money and anger don't go together. You know why? Because the perception, like now I go down and you have a difficult customer. You know, there's a course in our business school that how to handle difficult customers. So you go down now, one difficult customer comes, in fact, almost insulting you, and you give it to her back. How many people will give it to her? You will give it to her. Let me give it to her. Then there's also potential customers that are strolling by. Maybe just waiting for her to leave so that they will come. Do you think they will come back to your booth? They will not come back to your booth. They will not come back to your booth. You don't know who your potential customer is. You have no idea. So you must continue to maintain that. One of the greatest things that can happen to someone is that they make you a pastor. Did I say greatest? One of the most stringent. Because you can't be yourself. I was in the street of Dubai. There's a place, Deira, but not the Deira good part. You know where those not Lebanese, where those Pakistanis, like I call it Surulere of Dubai. Inside, because we're going to look for things cheaper. The next thing I was just say, pastor, running. I said, I cannot even hide here. So you can imagine what they know me as and what they now come and see me. Somewhere inside a chair, my car with my wife and the driver, he was overheating. So we came out. Where will we get water in this place? I just saw somebody stop in a bike. Pastor. I said, now, wow, this pastor thing. So pastor can't even have side chicks. You can imagine the pastor you are pastor, you come and be toasting your congregants. She will not tell you now because she won't have liver to tell you. She'll be looking at you. What am I saying? I'm saying that now, if I do that, I will have the experience, and I carry microphone now. If it was church and I'm preaching, what do you think will be the feeling in those people if they caught me doing something? Will I have a strong brand with them? So it has, we will go to the concept, but I'm just trying to make you realize that it is tricky. Brand takes time. Building a brand is deliberate, and it takes time. Next slide, please. I will try to be fast. Everybody already has a brand, whether you believe it or not. Everybody has a brand. As you are, you have a brand. Even if you do nothing, you have a brand. People will think, this one is lazy now. Is a brand. This one is hardworking. Is a brand. So whatever you do in life, you are developing a brand. So it's better you develop a good brand. Your brand is what? Is a reflection of who you are, first of all. What you believe. Some people don't know what they believe. Some people don't know that they believe things that are detrimental to themselves. So your brand reflects who you are, what you believe, which is visibly expressed by what you do and how you do it. It is my belief of what I want to build or what I want to create. That's why you are here without paying for anything. It is because of where I'm going. It is because of what I'm seeing. It is because of so that will determine the kind of brand you have on your inside. Because I believe this, from Monday till now, some of you have built or have established a brand about who I am. True or false? So, and it is because of all these things, is because of who you are. Do you know that you see things, not the way things are, but the way you are? You see the world the way you are, not the way things are. Somebody can come here. He's looking around and is security conscious. What is happening? 6, let us go. You know why? Because something has happened to him before. So he's seeing the world from a point of view where everywhere needs to be what? Secured. If you have someone that is dubious, you know what will happen? That person will always be seen. Watch him now. See this person. Anything that is happening, he's looking at it as if from the point of view that somebody might be defrauding another person. So it's not that thing is happening, it's the way we see it. So yes, in doing brand, it's the doing part, which is why it's important. It's the doing part that connects with other people, and that is where that impression is made. So your brand is this perception held in someone else's mind. So when you want to relate with people, you have to be very cautious. Next slide. When you want to talk to someone, you have to be very cautious. From today, you see what happens with consciousness is when you are conscious of something, you are bringing light to that thing. When you are conscious of something, you will act in a different way. Assuming now we have cameras all over the place, I always see it in church, and all these cameras, and maybe they will just zoom in on someone, and the person sees himself on the screen. What do? They will just adjust themselves. Why? Why are you adjusting yourself? It is because this is who you want to be portrayed. Did I finish with the last slide? Can you just go back? Let me confirm that I finished with it. Okay, you can go ahead. So, the binding factor, whether in business or personal relationship, is understanding the nature and needs of who you are in a relationship. It will make sense when we get to the components of branding, personal branding, because whether it's business or personal, success in life are not accidental; they are deliberate. Let us go ahead. I have to move fast. Strong brands develop from how well we manage our relationships. So if you're having difficulties at work, in the family, and you are feeling that, look, people are not getting me, you have to now take this personal, building a strong brand. You have to take it very seriously, because co-workers can truly understand and do not fully appreciate you. The essence, there's something that is called branded relationship. And what makes those relationships is because you understand who they are. You understand their needs. You just don't go into a relationship with someone, or you don't become close to someone without understanding that need. Okay, I will break it down. So let's go. Let's just go to the part that I'll break it down for the sake of time. So, personal brand perception and images. I want you now to think of someone you know, either professionally or personally. How will you describe their relationship, your relationship to that person? Is he or she someone you can easily discuss a problem with, or someone you rather avoid with sensitive situations? There are some people, if you tell them something, the whole Port Harcourt will hear it. There are also some people, if you tell them something, nobody will hear it. These are perceptions and images of people that we hold in our mind based on our relationship with them. Go ahead. So let me just give you an instant. Look at this brand perception and images. So I've said, just think of one person now in your mind as we go through this. Do you think of them first when you need help, expertise in a particular area? When you need help, where do you go? If you have money problem, where do you go? Who do you think of? And why does that individual stand out among hundreds of people that you know in your mental address? So that means there must be something about that person that you go to when you have a need. So you are doing these things unconsciously. But now I want you to they don't know. he needs money. Is it not back up? Can I have a mic? This one. Okay, is he up now? Can you guys hear me? So how can you go and use your mother and say your mother has terminal sickness? That his mother has terminal. So they hang out, but they don't really value him that much. And when he comes, when he's not there, they are happy. Because now the kind of value that people have. And so it's important that when people that know you are close to you, what they say. What is your brothers and sisters saying? When we ask your brothers and sisters, you say, don't mind them, they hate me, it's because I'm the Joseph in the house. Somebody has said that, I'm the Joseph in the house. They hate me. What are they saying? It's important. Go to the next slide. What do people say that are close to you? You know, there's some limitations that you will have. I know you have this limitation. And when you ask me, everybody has limitation, weaknesses. There's some weaknesses that I don't have to tell people about because we all have that. But there's some things when you talk about someone, immediately the perception they have about them will just be okay. Will just be in the mind of everybody. So let us see the power of perception. If you understand the power of perception, you will realize that, look, I've been selling myself short. And I need to begin today to change. You see, brand reflects a perception or emotion maintained in someone else's mind. We've learned that. The good news about this perception or emotion is that once it's locked in place, it has tremendous staying power. Just as highly personalized perceptions and emotions stick to a product, they stick to a person like that. You know, when you like someone, it's difficult not to, even when they misbehave, it's difficult to not to like them immediately. When you hold, you know, when they say this one is falling in our hands, do you know that if somebody holds you in high esteem and you misbehave, that person automatically starts to make excuse for you? True or false? But when you are consistent in that thing they do, they begin to withdraw their support for you. Next slide. So it is powerful. Do you know that one of the things that benefits me in right now, it took me years to build, is integrity. Integrity, and which other word? Not accountability. Dependability. You know, all of us have what works for us. Do you know what works for me? People can trust me, that's all. People can depend on me. If I tell you the people that call me on the phone or come and see me, or I go and see, you will be shocked. Everybody has a place to cry. And everybody, first of all, let me just say the story so that you understand where I'm coming from. When they say you are a child of God, do you know what it sounds to the world? The world wants to dupe you. Every time they hear that you are a pastor, you know what enters people's mind? Make I try this one. Then when you react, they say, no be pastor you be. They say, no be child of Satan you be. Because if you are God's child, you will not be trying me. See, what is good is what is good. If I tell you how much people are owing me, just because they feel that you can't do anything to them. And I say this everywhere I go. Do you know why brother doesn't trust brother in church? It's because one brother will dupe the other brother and will say, let us pray. Let us pray he will change. I don't believe that. I think he can change in EFCC cell. It's a criminal case. It's not a religious thing. It's not a religious case. Guys, it's not a religious case. Let him chill out in police station or EFCC. It's not. When you dupe somebody, when we begin to do it in such a way that this is what kills. And now it has, that kind of feeling that I don't have it well. And people say that, look, why will you leave your brother and go to, it's because of this kind of things. And that is a perception we have where Christians don't deal with Christians. And guys, we need to change it, because that is the devil that is working. That is the devil that is working. Because if you come together, we're in the same country, we know what is happening. By the time we come together, we will not be broken. It will not be easily broken, because we know that we are dealing with. You cannot cover people that are fraudulent in the name of the Lord. How does it sound? How can I cover you in the name of the Lord? And so what it does is that is weakening that relationship. What we know, I know that some of you here, instead of you to deal with someone in your church, you go outside. But guys, we need to correct it. And I think we've gotten to the country at the stage where we are, that you see all this division, all this dichotomy. I belong to Paul, I belong to Apollos, I belong to all these things. And I would dare say it. You see, they say south-south, they say southeast. These demarcations are things that are always keeping us apart. And will continue to keep us. All of us have similar beliefs. We have similar religions. We have traded before. Your mother is from here. This one is from here. This father is from here. Then all of a sudden we are different people. But we don't see it in other regions. And the more we are saying, I am from this, I am not like this, who is losing? We are the ones losing. And that is a brand that they have of us from the south. Who can go? Who will go? These are the strong brands. And let me tell you, these things are propaganda. Who are the people promoting that one section we hate another section? But that section that you see somebody who say, I will kill you, but go and look at their wives are from that side. Okay, so what does it have to do with women, Abi? Come on, guys. We are weakening our brand as the South. We are weakening our brand. That's why we cannot enjoy the oil. We cannot enjoy these things because we are a weak brand. A weak brand that fights his own. A weak brand that eats his own. That's why we are where we are. Please, guys. It is a brand. It is a brand that, in the South, they know they do business. In Port Harcourt, they don't like to work. I was in a meeting, because my name is Uche Onoche, so sometimes they can mistake me from South or South. Me, I don't believe in all the South, Southeast. And so they say South, leave them. They just believe it all. They don't want to work. Let us bring people from other sections. I screamed. I said, do you know that I'm from the South? They were shocked. I said, I'm from Delta State. Don't come and tell me that we don't believe, we don't like to work. But it's a brand that they've used to brand you. And I know they like work. And if we don't change this narrative, other places in Nigeria are more dangerous in crime, more dangerous in kidnapping than in Port Harcourt. But in our own, is us that we come on radio. Hey, Obiapo wants to kill this. You are talking, just yarning rubbish in radio. Do you hear it in other places? They don't say their own in other. They are covering. I say, come and invest. We are scattering. In other places, when they riot, do they destroy? We will destroy the whole Abacha road. Who we do? Who lose? Come on, guys. It's a brand. It's a brand, and you are following the narrative of people from other regions. You are following the narrative of people from other regions. Sofanova Tayana. The what is in unity. I'm telling you, is in unity that we're able to change this. We need to change our brand. That we don't kill ourselves. We actually help ourselves. Let me tell you a story. You go and meet a lecturer from your place and you are speaking your language to him, he will walk you out. True or false? He will walk you out. But you see some people that cannot speak English. They use words for ease. Ease for where? They are having first class and 2-1. And they will come and work in your air company. In your land. Who we do? You see, we need to say these things and let us know what is happening. Southeast is one, no, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to go into details, but we all know, do the research, you see that it is deliberate for us to divide ourselves into this different dichotomy. Why? So we become weak. And that's why we're weak. Sorry for the digression, but we're all Nigerians. Sometimes this thing, they pain person. A strong brand needs to be clearly defined, and so that we understand. There are 3 components of branding, and we're going to look at them each as before we leave. A brand must be distinctive. Move on. Let's understand what that means. Your brand starts to become distinctive when you decide to do what you believe in and then commit yourself to acting on those beliefs. I believe that I must be my brother's keeper. I believe that the South must become filled up with entrepreneurs. I believe and I dream that we will not. Do you know the dream that started making Nigeria? A dream that we will have a global brand coming out from Nigeria, from the South, from River State. That is the dream. That is the dream. And so now, this is how we can start that journey. It starts by distinguishing yourself as you decide in what you believe in, and then commit yourself to acting on those beliefs. Commitment means doing what you say you will do despite the obstacle. It costs an arm, it costs a leg to do what we do here, but we do it because we believe. To believe strongly in something costs a lot. It will cost you something. As your beliefs are not always shared by other people, standing up to them is always a courageous act. And this is what begins to make you distinctive. People will tell me, why are you doing conference like this and you're not charging money? And when I try to talk to them, they don't see it. And so it takes courage for you to continue to do one thing, even if they send you out, they don't agree with you. 13 years we're doing, but guess what? You know, Isaac Dogwell, will receive one call, and that call will just give you hope. You continue. 6 months down the line, that call will not materialize to anything, but God has moved you 6 months. God has moved you by 6 months. All right, next slide, please. These are just some scriptures that will help you. The just shall live by faith. Without faith, you can't do anything. In this Nigeria, you need faith. You know, people in other climes, they don't need faith. You have NEPA. How many times have NEPA taking light here? You have NEPA, you have healthcare, you have all those things. So they don't understand faith. But here in Nigeria, we live by faith every day. Because if you get home, you kneel down and say, praise the Lord. Let me take a bit. You get home by 9, you say, praise the Lord. Because we live by faith. Hebrews 10:33 says, cast not away your confidence. He has great recompense of reward. We are not the people that draw back. We are not the people. Go on. It's not a church. Just go on. Being distinctive is much more than being different, guys. It's much more than image building. It's more than selling yourself. I'm not telling you to sell yourself. You know, some people, they wear only white. Some people, they do this. That's not the distinction that I'm talking about. The distinction comes with what you believe, and you believe strong. It has nothing to do with physical appearance. It's about understanding the needs of others, wanting to meet those needs, and being able to do so while you're still staying true to yourself. Next slide. Okay. Clarity, you must have clarity, understanding, and action on the basis of values is a core building block in the act of developing a strong brand. There must be clarity. Don't do things because other people are doing it. There must be understanding, what am I doing? What do I need to achieve? And what you think will not determine how you act. Is as you think, you act. As you think, you move. As you think, you develop relationship. You relate with people as you think. It affects not only what you think and feel, but also how you behave. See, some people are cocky. You see, the ones about being cocky and arrogant, you can be a billionaire, we can excuse you that you are being cocky. But the one I don't understand, you don't have more than 5,000 in your pocket and a bank account, and you go, they swear. No, and I really don't understand, because in his mind, he's rich. In his mind, he's feeling, but also because whatever you feel here is what you're acting out. And let me help people. I have a small, they are big now. My cousins, my female cousins, we went to a family gathering and they were asking me, so should I date what word did they use? Someone that feels, someone you can feel and not necessarily be proud. Someone that is proud, I say yes. That for me, if I have a daughter and I cannot accept a husband that has no presence. And for you to have presence, you must feel small. Every man must feel. Men, we have ego. And that ego is transmitted in feeling. So every man must feel. Without feeling, you cannot strive to achieve. We are built to achieve. So, but you must feel first. It is that feeling that gets you noticed. But what brings you down is that when you feel without humility. You can come in here looking like $1,000,000, but be humble. That will get you across the way. So I say, look, you have to. You can't work with me if you don't have presence. I can't be your friend if you don't have presence. You know, those people that do those things are people that are thinking of themselves. You have an idea of yourself. That's why you are packaging yourself in that way. But the one that will just wear slippers and wear boxers and just stroll into a conference like this, that is packaging. But that is the kind of packaging that I will not come near you. All right, let me go on. As people observe your actions, they make judgments about you, about why you do what you do, and those judgments becomes their perception. The more distinctive the actions they see, the better defined your brand becomes to them. So this distinction of who you are, what you want to be, I believe that no matter what, I believe in calmness. I believe in calmness with also being firm. I believe that I don't shout, but whatever a person will do that is shouting and take action, I can take that same action smiling with you. I can sack you. I can do anything to you smiling. I don't have to raise. At one point I realized that, why am I stressing? Why? Waiting I go do. From the first minute I see you, what I will do. Why am I going to raise? So you have to be calm. And you see on the phone, you cannot get upset. If you are working with me, you can't get upset. Because why? Anger and what? Money, they don't go together. So we have to train ourselves. And as you're doing that, when you are taking that action, and the more you take that action, people are looking at you as being dependable. I was going to share a story. I said, the success that I have in life is because people can depend on me. But it costs me pain. People want to dupe you because they see that you believe in, you are strongly associated. You have a strong brand with your faith. So they will want to dupe you. But if they begin to realize that yes, you might be this, but you also have these views, they begin to change their views towards you. So you have to, it costs a lot of money. Like I said, a lot of money until I develop my own model of how to make people not owe me. If you want that model, you come. I can teach you how to make people not owe you. That's by having millions outside. I can teach you how to make, and so that you don't lose the core of who you are. I have some certain beliefs. I believe in God. I believe in some certain things. And that helps me. But you know what? Believing in God does not give you a religious outlook. Most of the problem we have is that we have a religious outlook. We look at life from religion. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. Because my God is spirit. I have no religion is our biggest problem. Have you not seen it? Am I lying? I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in religion, but I believe in God, and I believe in spirituality, and I believe in the God of the Bible. And I can, when things happen, I have somewhere I can draw reference from. And once you're gifted with the Holy Spirit, you will not be bothered whether you make a mistake or not. And the more you tend towards the Holy Spirit, the less you become a religious person. The less you are intimidated. You know, somebody can come here. In the name of God, everybody begin to shake. Somebody can tell you, if you leave my church, you will die. You begin to shake. Because you have a religious mentality. See, you have to check everything that people tell you. When you meet someone, that's why it's not good to judge people. Don't judge people until you meet them. And when you meet them, you begin to find out the kind of brand they carry. And those that carry strong brands now draw people. You now draw people. I received some kind of calls and I'm wondering, why are these people calling me? Every time I speak, because I speak my heart. As a Nigerian, I speak, and I've said something about the South, but I have to also cool myself down, not to say much. But when I say things, that people call me and ask me, what is your views on this? That's how I used to know people. Man that does not shake, even though you see that he has my mien is different, does not. But your belief, I'm driven by what I believe, and that's what makes me distinctive in my belief, and I hold on to it. Do you know what threatens brand? It is money. It is money. There was one time that there was this contract, and they invited me to a certain place. Some of you are from there, so I don't want to say it. And they say, look, this is the contract, but you know, as we finish, but so, and I said, okay, so when do we deploy? They say, who said deploy where? We are not doing it. They are looking for a company that they are going to use. Huh? The money was the kind of money you see, you retire. I got home that day. Nobody knew. I got home about 10. I laid outside in my house till 2 a.m. The temptation was too much. My mother was sick. She was on wheelchair. My house was so many issues. That money would have solved it. Then I take my wife to the Bahamas. We could go chill small. We no come world to suffer. Then I asked one of my friends, he said, well, you know what he said? He said, just keep 50 million now for EFCC. We do them now. Keep 50 million for EFCC. Do you know somebody can take your land? This is some mentality of some people. They will take your land and sell it 100 million and keep 20 million for case. They do it. That's what people, real estate people. They do it now. Say, just hold money, you do it. But you are sowing a seed. And that seed will grow. It starts from you. So they said to me, your temptation does not come in things. Your temptation comes at bad hours. Do you know what happened to the guy that took the contract? For 10 years until I stopped hearing anything about it. EFCC, you know, EFCC doesn't close their case. So, if they are not so clear in something again, they start the case all over again. Then you come again, you start the case all over. Which one is better? Stay on the narrow path. Stay on the narrow path. It leads to next. Okay, strong brands are what? The second one, relevant. Strong brands are relevant. We've seen distinctive. Let's now see relevance. Relevance begins when a person believes that you understand and care about what is important to them, not to you. This second part is very, very important. And this is what has helped me in my marriage and helped me in keeping high net worth friends. Relevance. It even gains more strength every time you demonstrate that what's important to your friends, to your customers, to your clients, to your spouse is important to you. So now, the effect of being both distinctive and relevant is what begins to ignite a strong personal brand. Next slide, please. Example. The relevance of one spouse to another extends beyond the marriage contract. Young men that are about to get married and the ones that are already married, let me just give you something for free. Do not assume. You know what kills marriages is, he loves me now. You don't love me, so you'll be hugging all the girls in church, and you say, hey, but my wife loves me. Love is accountability. Oh. Love is making the other person comfortable. You have to make your spouse comfortable around you. So you can't be doing some certain things and you say she loves me. Love is not enough. It's not enough. There has to be accountability. So men, what I was saying, do you know what can make you grow strong personal brand with your wife or girlfriend or this? I write it out. Oh. Me and my wife, we do budget session. Not budget session, we do retreat from time to time. I have 10 things that makes me relevant to my wife. Why would this woman not leave me and go and take all these young boys with apps? Why would she keep? Why? See, let me tell you, love is not enough. Oh. You know why? Because love is a feeling. You can't base your life on a feeling. Love escorts you to the marriage door. Love. That love. When school fees, pregnancy, quarrel come, love will fly away. That's why young people can't cope with marriage. Nobody prepared you. You entering where they go where you don't know. And if you want to talk to young people, they feel that they know. You see the divorce rate? Every day we are solving problem of young people. See, I didn't know that's how it was. But you didn't ask. So I have 10 things. Why? How am I valuable? See, because now, men, listen to me. The days of our father, where they use money and beating to suppress women, have passed. So the women are earning more than you. So how do you manage a woman that is earning more than you or earning like you and still be relevant and still be the alpha male? And yes, how do you do that? If you cannot solve this mathematics, that is what is breaking. It's not. Now, headship was given to us men by God. But now you have to earn that headship. Because all the things that made you head, you were the one that was earning before alone. Now the woman, they earn more than you. So how? Now it's based on what? Value. You know what? Women get limitation. Men too have limitation. You see, we cannot do without each other. So when you understand your place of strength, when you understand the place of strength and understand what women want and how it's valuable, you have solved your problem. Maybe, K.O. Baba, we have to do one relationship for men alone. Men are suffering now. You know what? Because nobody taught us. What we saw our fathers do is not what is happening. If you rake now, you call police. If you touch them now, what do they call? They've come. So how do you cope and still remain the secrets? I will tell you guys. Relevance is what distinguishes a friend from an acquaintance. A co-worker may be relevant to you, but is not the same as a mentor. The more relevance you demonstrate, the stronger your brand becomes. I'm able to keep high network friends because I believe in what they believe. I'm sympathetic to what they're doing. I am relevant to them. So if you have friends, don't say because we went to the same secondary school, we went to the same university, why if I call him, some of your friends that you call that don't answer you, you know why? You are not relevant to them. Everybody must do SWOT analysis. Strength, weakness, opportunities. What is your strength? Your strength is what you sell. Your strength is what you put forward. You cannot talk to me 5 minutes. You don't know my strength. My strength is what feeds me. My friend, my strength is what makes you remember me. My strength is what makes you look for me. My strength. And that strength, if I know where that relevance, how I can be relevant to you, I become a strong brand. Go on, please. Strong brands always attract attention from those who find them relevant. And the strategy in how you become relevant is what is called thinking in reverse. If thinking in reverse is simply what? If you want to be considered valuable to others, you must move out of your world into their world. Before you get what you want, you must first help others to get it. When somebody is talking to you, listen. The mistake we all make is that when somebody is talking to us, we already have the answer. When somebody is talking to you, you are entered the mode of a counselor. So when they finish, you begin to talk to them. When a friend is talking, listen, you don't have to reply immediately. Understand what is going through. Process it. And now see how you can transfer that value to him. How you can be valuable. The friends of Job, they just sat down, they were quiet. But some of us, we sit down there, we begin to talk. Because we go to social media. You know, social media now is the where we learn all the things that we want to learn. Galatians 5:14 says, for all the law is fulfilled in what? Love thy neighbor as thyself. It starts with that. Okay, let's go. Let's go on. Relevance is a process. It starts with questions like, what do they want? Your friend, your customer, your clients, what do they want? What do they need? What do they value? What do they expect? The mistake people make is, those of you in sales, please, find out, before you just go knocking on doors, find out who needs what you have. Don't come to a company and just say, we are selling this when you don't know whether they need it or not. Don't try to be valuable. You must know. You must know what I want. So now you want to be valuable to me now. You can't just go, Pastor Uche, I need you to mentor me. It's of no value to me. I get that almost 1,000 a month. It's of no value. Mentor, mentee, you are giving me something, I'm giving you something. Which is what I'm going to talk about at the end of this, because I want to create a partnership that will serve you and will also serve me. Because I think that thing is needed to raise partners from this program. I position myself for you, you position yourself for me. So, like I said, so now the definition of relevance is something you earn by the importance others place on what we do for them and by their judgment of how well we do it. This is relevance. This is relevance. My phone. Right, next slide, please. Okay. The third one is that strong brand is what? Consistent. Strong brand is consistent. It's the hallmark of every strong brand. It requires doing things that are both distinctive, both relevant, and doing them again and again and again and again. Consistency is the icing on the cake. Consistency is what seals it up completely. As a brand, you only get credit and acknowledgement for what you do consistently. When you promise today, it works. Tomorrow, it doesn't work. Next tomorrow, it will work. The upper week, it will not work. your brand is not consistent. We can't depend on you. Consistent behaviors does what? Defines your brand more clearly and concisely. So entrepreneurs, whatever you want to be, when you sleep tonight, how do you want the world to see you? How do you want the world to feel about you? There's work to be done. There's no free meal anywhere. If you want us to take you seriously, then you have to build to become a serious brand. Well, do we remember Mr. Biggs? Do you realize that all their meat pie and all those things, they all taste alike, the same thing? They have this funny taste. I don't want to say I'm being strange, but they have a particular smell and a particular why. The brand is consistent. The brand is consistent. Every time we meet you, are you still that friendly person? Are you still that person you want to portray? We all have bad days, but if you know that that thing that you're going to say or do can disrupt your own brand, you will not say it. You just rather walk away. All right, the next slide, please. I should have updated this. You might not have met them personally, but you agree with me that these are very strong brands. True or false? So, whatever you might feel about them, whether you like them, you don't like them, opposition, for, against, they are strong brands. So you can see that where I'm going is a brand can either be good or bad. Go ahead. In a relationship, consistency is established by what? Dependability of behavior. The quickest way to now diminish that brand from being strong is becoming inconsistent. Inconsistency weakens the brand, and it does what? It suspends that belief. I told you before, when somebody believes in you, you make a mistake, that person will make an excuse for you. But when you now become consistently now falling their hand, what happens? You are no longer a strong brand. They can't defend you. Go ahead. Some people, let me just give you this story. This one is just a story, the rest of the slide. How you can build a strong brand without being a leader, a politician, a pastor, or whatever. This is a story about Terry Fox. Some people live for decades, never really achieve a lasting impact. But this guy was able to do it at a very young age. His name is called Terry Fox. He was a Canadian who at the age of 18 was diagnosed with bone cancer. His right leg was amputated 6 inches above the knee. While in the hospital, he was so moved by the sufferings he saw and decided to do something about it. Next slide. Next slide, please. 3 years after losing his leg. No, go back. Back. After losing his leg, he vowed to run across Canada with a prostrate leg to raise money for what? Cancer research. His goal was to raise at least $1 from every man, woman, child in his country, which was Canada. There were about 20-something million at that time. When he started the race, there was a casual interest, which so turned into a national phenomenon, and he was running 42 kilometers daily. Go ahead. Yeah. After covering 5,300 kilometers, which was 2/3 of the way, his cancer returned, and he died a month before his 23rd birthday. But see, Terry Fox lived to see what many described as impossible goal of raising $24 million. He showed a tremendous amount of integrity by making sure that his personal experiences was covered by sponsorship contributors so that every single dollar that was donated went to the cancer research. Okay, he made every step count. And now today the Terry Fox Foundation runs in over 60 countries and has raised well over 250 million. I'm sure is heading towards 1 billion now. In 1999, Terry Fox says a national survey conducted in 1999 found that in the minds of his countrymen, Terry Fox is Canada's greatest hero as at 1999. Why? His values led to distinctive, relevant, and consistent actions, the effect we have on people around us. So you don't have to be a millionaire, a politician, a whatever. Next slide for you to be able. Next slide for you to be able to make that different, to be distinctive, to be consistent, and to be relevant. Building strong brands is not the same thing as morality in a spiritual sense. It has nothing to do with, you can build the notorious armed robbers, bandits, Boko Haram. They're all very strong brands. Your brand can be either positive or negative. Move on. Okay? Let's go. But you have to continue. Everything in life must be tested. Let me tell you. Whatever you want to do in life that is successful must be tested. Some people, you say you want to get married, it must be tested. You want to be a business person, it must be tested. Everything you want to do must be tested in life. And how you handle it, how you come out of it, how you cope will determine the kind of brand you are. Let's go. I think I'm almost rounding. Yes. So, in conclusion, whatever you want to do, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. It takes boldness, it takes courage to be at the top. And so, whatever you want to be, today I've come to tell you that is possible. But build a strong brand while you do it. Thank you. Before I pass on the mic to KO, I want to appreciate Mr. Wilfred Musa. He's the head of Reintegration Presidential Amnesty Program, one of our sponsors. All the way, no, please, let's put our hands together for him. All the way from Abuja. He came, his exhibitors are down. Thank you, sir, for honoring us. And so, maybe you give him like 2-3 minutes to just share something to Port Harcourt people. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, for the convener. Because people switch this fix up and I was saying, don't gather people. They learn. I don't know if you had value, Abby. Yes, I don't know if you want to hear him speak again tomorrow. Yes, see the. First I've tried. I've done like 3-4. Yes, this morning I did one. Yes. No, I will not transform. I'll always go back to that comedy. I've been doing it for years. I used to attend one church along Eastern Bypass. So I went for House Fellowship. The House Fellowship leader was not there. Then I can't preach. The pastor will come go tell them, say, that guy is having preached. Then come put me for assistant pastor. Now, I run for the church. They lost a member. So please, I want to thank you so much. I have been praising you. And your women are, they didn't just come to exhibit. These women, every section from when they arrived yesterday, yesterday they didn't come also. They've not missed a section. Day before yesterday evening, yes. And yesterday when I was doing the master class, you see them writing. Some young girls, they chop chewing gum. The women, yes. I'm so impressed, sir. God bless you. So let me give you your money to buy Coke. I give you. You go collect. Rich people money they develop full now. Thank you. Okay, I give you your own is 2,000. I cannot give you your. Yes, let me give you your guard too. No. Thank you. When they clap, I don't know why I give up. So I'm giving you so that next year. Una madam. You know been there when I give una. And I see it's supposed to be now. So that I go pay now. Something to make her feel that check why I come out. Why I come out. If you come out, I still give you. Next time you go come out again. Okay, now don't worry. I'll give you next year. Yes, please. I would like to give this opportunity to this wonderful man for doing this. I appreciate the fact that you brought them here, and I appreciate the fact that they are all enterprising. Yes. They are not just here to exhibit. If you need to see how they are writing notes, yesterday Pastor Kenny finished, they were engaging him. They talked to you, they asked questions, and I wish these women can just get younger a bit. Because they have more time. But even if you are not younger, you will live for extra 70 years in Jesus' name. You will not die. You cannot die. That woman, they asked that mama, what do you want you to do? Please, let's put our hands together for the boss. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Port Harcourt. I didn't think I'll be asked to say anything, so I didn't plan anything. I just got in from Abuja a while ago and decided to head up here and to see what's happening. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to see us. And I went through the stalls and the booths, and in my head I was like, I hope I don't leave here broke at the end of the day. And because there's a lot I'll definitely have to buy, and I'll be happy to buy. So well done for what you're doing. I appreciate and those who have put this together. It's very intentional, and it's a good thing. And the micro business space in Nigeria is the future of this country. It's not oil and gas. It's not those big things or big industries. It is you. You're the future. You're the employers of labor. You're that barber shop, and with them 2 or 3 mirrors, and then you hire extra hands, and that small bakery, that small farm. When we add up all those businesses, it makes sense. And for the organization I represent, we're happy to be involved in this. And as a matter of fact, we hope and we intend to do more of it. And I'd like to encourage you. I'm happy to hear that you have been diligent right from when this shop opened, making notes, listening, interacting. You have left your locations and your businesses, to invest in yourself. I assure you that it will speak. It's a seed that will take root, and it will speak in your future. So don't relent. Don't be distracted. Open your hearts. Make sure that you network. You don't have to understand the other man's business. Take his information. Beyond now, you might be the reason why he would expand, and he might be the reason why you would expand. So I give you this charge, and between now and the end of this event, I'm very optimistic that we'll interact, and I'll be happy to get to know you and to understand what you do, and to also explore how we can add value to each other. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Uncle Wilfred Musa. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I like the fact you had to state it again. It's micro and small businesses. We are, of course, the future of every economy, not just the Nigeria economy. And I like your effort in making sure that these people are partakers of that revolution. When we come back, we're going on a break. We'll be back. We are extending. We're supposed to come back by 3, but we'll come back by 3:30 so that you can have enough time to eat and refresh. So when we come back, I will be doing the sales master class. My last for today, but tomorrow Kingsley May will help me do the sales master class, because I will be doing. I'm the keynote speaker in the morning. Somebody asked me what I will wear suit. I will wear Man U jersey. I will represent defeat. That is it. So when we come back, I'll do the sales master class. Today I will be speaking on sell abnormally. Now, how many of you know that Nigerians are abnormal people? Yes. And so if you want to sell to Nigerians, you must learn to sell abnormally. The things where they trigger Nigerians, no matter how you put, in different places, different ways. If you go to Shiloh to go and sell now, I can tell you that simply calling your Zobo, Shiloh Zobo will sell. How many of you know? Yes. So we need to talk about that. Sell abnormally is what I'll be teaching on today. That's my last 4 days. Make in Nigeria would like to hold monthly and quarterly sections with some of you. How many of you would like to be part of that process? So what we would like to do, we'll make a better announcement in the afternoon, in the evening. We want people who want to partner this vision. Pastor Uche doesn't want to put you in a position where you need to pay to attend conference. I know some of that kind of thing that they like here. When I did my last sales class, Kingsley was one of my speakers. Just 20,000 naira per person. That's what I charge. But maybe because he's a pastor, or maybe because he's meek. So what we've discussed is, if you want to partner this project, you know on your own that every month, every quarter, you can commit within your capacity to support making Nigeria ahead of time. We'll create a setup where every time this monthly training for free, you will come and attend, as long as you are a partner of Making Nigeria. How many of you would like to be partners of Making Nigeria? Yes, we don't need to start looking outside. We just want people, business people, young people who are like you, who look at Making Nigeria and say, don't worry, teach me more about business. Bring me in every month, even if it's 1,000 naira. It must not be 100,000. If it's 100,000, fine. 2,000, 5,000, 10, 20, 50, 100 or above. You just be a partner and be supporting what they are doing, and you will always be part of the class. Yes. So I will drop a form in the evening. For those of you who want to drop in the morning, and tomorrow, which is going to be our finale. For tomorrow evening, we have some comedians and musicians that will likely join us before we take the last section for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last you will attend. For those of you who have been invited to the gala night, you know how to get your invite and be part of it. But one more thing I want to say. You will not get better because you were part of this conference. You will get better because you were part of this conference, you left this conference, and you allowed this conference to be part of your business. How? The things that you learn here, the things that we were saying, the things that over 10 speakers have been saying here. Take your notepad, rule a line, and when you rule a line, try as much as possible to see how you can say, how can I impact this? How can I do this? How can I do that? And begin to implement them. There is no easy way. There is no easy way to become the best or big in business. So I take God's name, beg you, please. I take God's name, beg you, be serious with all the informations you've gotten in this place. When we come back after the master class, I told some of you something. I'm going to keep to the promise. My friend Ikechukwu and Majuyi will be doing a section on how to start and grow in agro business. How many of you like to be part of that section? The large and the wonderful opportunities that you can get if you partake in the agricultural sector, how to start business there, how to package, how to sell. He's speaking from the place of experience. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, 45 minutes time, we'll be back. It's a good time to go downstairs. Yeah, we are all going together. Our convener and Uncle Wilfred Musa will lead us and we will join them. Make sure you eat, make sure you drink, make sure you buy books, make sure you buy people. Everybody has done their exhibition. I mean, yeah, not only you, they always the exhibit last. Madam, come. You say you never do your own. You don't. I like the confidence that they carry talk. Yes. Palm oil, plantain, poster color. You came with them? I've not talked, I carry everything and they say. So stand up, make sure you network. The next 45 minutes we'll be back and we'll get into the sales and master class. The sales master class. I will be talking on sell abnormally. Very simple things you can do with your small business and make more sales. Thank you so much. We'll be back. Don't forget the time. I will not call you. I thought it's 3:30. I don't start. Whether it is 3 persons. Yesterday we started 5 persons. Everyone begin to run. 3:30. We will start immediately.